Yo, what's up guys? It's been a while since I dropped a build video for ESO, and some of you probably thought I wouldn't drop another since it's actually been years. But today I'm going to bring you another dual wield and two-handed Nightblade, this time for High Isle, or whatever patch we're on, because to be honest I can't keep track anymore. Now this build is for battlegrounds, but can be used for PvP pretty easily. I know a lot of you stamina Nightblades prefer two-handed and bow, but I really believe that two-handed and dual wield reigns supreme, especially in battlegrounds. Now, we're going to go over the gear, a few alternatives, and the skills. I might leave the champion points to you guys, considering I only have 600 champion points myself, and you're not using champion points in battlegrounds. So if we want to get right into it, we'll start with the skills. If you watched my last Nightblade video, these are the exact same skills as before. The only difference really is the gear, and I found a few moves that you could flex around with. Now, I only finished leveling this character today, but as soon as I did, I hopped into a few battlegrounds, maybe 6 of them, and I carried every single one of those. Those are live streamed right before this video drops, so feel free to go watch those. The very first battleground I actually hopped into, I didn't have a Mundus Stone, and I'm wearing a couple pieces of Divine's gear as well. I dropped 8 kills, I want to say 17 assists, and I didn't die a single time. This is bread and butter stamina Nightblade stuff right here. You got surprise attack as your main spammable. You find that over here in shadow. You got your gap closer ambush. Find that in assassination. Bread and butter right there. You're gonna gap close into them with ambush. Hit them with a mass hysteria, which fears them a lot of the time, and then spam surprise attack until you're ready to incap the person, or use killer's blade and execute them. You can come out of stealth a lot of times, heavy attacking and surprise attacking. Shadowy disguise is your friend, and I'm using tri-stat food, so I'm able to use shadowy disguise quite a bit, more than I really need to. You're able to probably cloak 3 or 4 times pretty consistently with ease in the battleground. You could get away with using dubious Camoran food, and then since I went with the Serpent Mundus Stone, you could go with the weapon damage Mundus Stone at that point, since you're going to have crazy recovery already. But yeah, you guys get the gist of it. You ambush, surprise attack, spam, heavy attack, light attack, whatever you feel the need to do. These are the bread and butter moves from bar. You cloaking yourself, and then once you use shadowy disguise, that's when you pop your rally to heal yourself. That's when you pop your resolving vigor. You'll come out of stealth with resolving vigor, but these heals hit you really nice with shadowy disguise played into them. Now, this is the morph of blur, phantasomal escape, and this move used to give you major expedition, but now the set we're wearing gives us major expedition, so that's really nice. If that wasn't obvious, that's Coward's gear. And on this two-handed bar, with the jewelry, we have all robust jewelry, all stamina recovery glyphs. You got 5 pieces of Coward's back here. It's giving you max health, stam recovery, crazy stam recovery, and then while you're sprinting you get major expedition and major protection, increasing your movement speed and reducing your damage taken. Now ideally, I would like to run Coward's gear on both bars, but right now I'm only able to run it on this two-handed bar. Also, you want this weapon to probably be powered or defending. I'm okay with it being sharpened right now. It's got my relentless focus ethereal procs hitting pretty hard. That's gonna be this move right here. So you focus your sense for 58 seconds, increasing your weapon and spell damage by 60 with every light or heavy attack up to 5 times. Crazy weapon and spell damage with that fully buffed. And then while active, hitting an enemy with 5 light or heavy attacks converts this ability into Assassin's Scourge, allowing you to fire a spectral bow, a spectral arrow, for half the cost and deals 13,000 unbuffed disease damage and heals you for 33% of the damage dealt if you're within melee range. This to me is a flex move. You could kind of get rid of it. I was almost playing around with this Fighters Guild move, Silver Bolts, if you kind of want to have fun with it, if you really could stay alive easily. But if you're new to this, it's not going to be the easiest thing to survive with. But man, can you get some kills pretty easily. I mean, especially if you want to swap this second set out with shield breaker. I mean, you'll be able to destroy any sorcerer you come across in there. The necromancers are already falling with ease. Magic dragonites really aren't a problem. You catch them in a 1v1. This is slight work for us. I mean, we're wearing 5 plague break on the body, and a lot of it is impen, but a couple pieces are divines. So with this plague break, you're getting 1435 offensive penetration, 124 weapon damage, 124 weapon damage again, and then dealing direct damage to an enemy who is not a plague carrier turns them into a plague carrier for 10 seconds, dealing an unbuffed 5900 disease damage over the duration. If the plague is removed early, it explodes, infecting enemies within 8 meters of the carrier and dealing an unbuffed 2400 disease damage. This explosion deals an additional 50% damage per enemy hit. This effect can occur once per attack and scales off the higher of your weapon and spell damage. Of course, it's going to be... Actually, the weapon and spell damage are the same on this build, but... I mean, obviously it's going off of your weapon damage, right? Because we're using stamina moves here. Now with the helmet and shoulder, you've got a lot of room to play. You could do 2 Selene, you could do 2 Blood Spawn, 2 Engine Guardian is totally an option. I, funny enough, don't have 2 Selene, or I would probably be rocking that right now. But this works. I mean, we got 1 piece of Blood Spawn and 1 piece of Selene, and I'm going out there. I'm buffing up with Rally before I engage with my enemies. Buffing up with Siphoning Strikes, Relentless Focus. And we're going in there, we're heavy attacking, surprise attack spam, fear whoever we need to, ambush into him and then fear. You could come out of stealth. Here, I'll show you guys some of it on this guy actually. Whoa, where did those come from? See, I haven't played this game for a while. Obviously, you're not going to be that close to your character, you're going to be zoomed out hopefully. But yeah, you're going to start off a lot of the encounters, buffing with Rally, buffing with this. Buffing with Relentless Focus. When I say this, I meant Leeching Strikes. I didn't go over that. So Leeching Strikes is nice because each light and heavy attack heals you, and you restore some stamina too. So yeah, you want to get in there doing stuff like this. Fear him as you need to. Proc your bow whenever. Get back in there. Incap them as you need. Pretty easy stuff, right? Now I live streamed a lot of that gameplay earlier when I was in the battlegrounds, so check that out if you feel like you need to see it in action. But yeah, definitely solid stuff here. So we've gone over the moves for the most part. Rally's going to be your heal and your damage buff. You want the vigor that heals yourself. Incap, very important. You're killing a lot of people with incap, laying them on their ass. This is a stun, and mass hysteria is a stun. So very important that you got incap going for you. I want to say it only stuns them, yeah, if you have a certain amount of ulti. So if you get your incap to 120 ultimate instead of just using it right away at 70, then you're stunning them. They could be laying on the ground, incapped, and then just heavy attack them while they're on the ground into a surprise attack, or light attack into a surprise attack. Really simple stuff, guys. I'm gonna get one more incap up. But ideally you'll incap them with 120 ultimate, they'll be laying on the ground, heavy attack, surprise attack. Super easy stuff. Let that ethereal bow go whenever you want. Now back to the gear. You really could replace this plague break with 5 shield break or another set of your choice, but I would highly recommend keeping that coward's gear on. That's the only way you're going to get your major expedition, since you don't have a bow and you can't just roll dodge and run away. Now, as I said, with the monster helm and shoulder, pick your poison. You got so many options at this point that it's kind of unreal how many options you have. Up here on that dual wield bar, I have 2 pieces of endurance, and it's giving me a good amount of health actually, because on this bar normally I'm chilling at about 22,000 health. I don't know how it's at 25k right now, but yeah, this health is kind of crazy. I think it went up when I was attacking that guy. Normally though, your health is going to be around 22,000 on this bar, and then it goes up actually 4k. So it says you're only getting 20 or about 2,000 health from that endurance, but really it's giving me about 4,000 health in PvP and battlegrounds. So, and I don't really want endurance either. That's the crazy part. I would prefer to have 5 cowards gear up here too, but I don't have it right now. So I can make this work with endurance is what I'm telling you. You have a lot of room to play around with. What's important is these skills. Now, fully buffed up, you got really solid recovery and weapon damage. 2,700 stamina recovery fully buffed up, 4,900 weapon damage fully buffed up, and then the stamina is whatever. A lot of these stats went up higher after I attacked that guy. It's got, oh, that's what it is. See, when you attack, here, we'll wait for that to all drop, because when you attack whatever these are, the trial dummies, you're getting a lot of buffs, so that's not realistic at all. This is more like it here. This is a more realistic version of what we got here. 2,500 fully buffed up stamina recovery, still pretty solid. We're running the Surfeit Munda Stone, but if you want to use Dubious Camoran instead of the Tri-Stat food that I'm using, you can definitely change out the Munda Stone for the weapon damage one or the max stamina one. You have options. If you do go with that Dubious Camoran though, instead of the Tri-Stat, you're not going to be able to stealth away as much, and cloaking is a huge part of this in there. Depending on the monster helm and shoulder, you might not need to as much if you're running 2 blood spawn maybe, or something else that makes you a little tankier. But yeah, so really what's important here is these skills. Let's go over these one more time because it's super important. This is your main spammable surprise attack. You're going to use this in conjunction with light and heavy attacks after you've ambushed into them, perhaps after you've come out of stealth with a heavy attack or a light attack. You're going to want to ambush into them a lot and fear them. You can incap them whenever you need. Try and get it to 120 ultimate or more so that you get that stun. If you don't need it, you can always mass hysterium for the stun, whatever you got to do. Killer's Blade, very important. This is your execute. A lot of the time you don't need Killer's Blade. I'm just out there hitting Killer's Blade and they're already dead because I've light attacked and surprise attacked enough. Now, this back bar is all about the heals you're getting and the buffs you're getting. Relentless Focus is hitting pretty hard on this bar, I gotta be honest, but it's not that important, man. You want to try and have a powered two-handed or a defending two-handed, I'd like to say. And I might transmutate it, honestly, right now, if I could. I don't think I can, though. And I was using this on another build, Stamina Necromancer. Things didn't go as well on that Stamina Necromancer. I was running 5 Coward's Gear and 5 Plague Break, but what I was doing was I was running a two-handed and a bow. So I truly don't believe I can change this right now. Yeah, I don't have it, especially on this guy, I don't have it researched. Maybe on the other. But I would like this to definitely be powered. Precise would be okay, because you're going to crit that rally heal. You're going to crit that assault, or the resolving vigor heal. Defending doesn't hurt either. You're a little more tanky with that. But yeah, Coward's Gear is nice. You're running really fast. You're protected when you're running away. And that's what this bar is all about. You want to heal up and then get back in the fight on this bar. Fear him as you need. Super simple stuff, you guys. All about these skills. I mean, let's look at some of the tooltips buffed up, I guess. So, yeah, I'm not really hidden, but I mean, I don't know if that makes a difference anymore. Fully buffed, not the greatest tooltip on that surprise attack, but it does work, man. I mean, you're out there hitting people hard with ambushes and surprise attacks. This is the bread and butter right here. Decent tooltips on everything, nothing to write home about, but if you can survive with this build, you're able to kill people very quickly. And all you got to do to survive is get these vigor heals and rally heals in stealth. Use stealth as much as you need to get away. I got tri-stat potions, that's very helpful. But you can make this work with just alliance health droughts and stamina health drought. You guys get it, like PvP potions, you know? So yeah, that's what's important. Wear the monster helm and shoulder you care about the most. Plague break is pretty interchangeable with a lot of sets, especially shield breaker. Drop those sorcerers with ease still. I love me some shield breaker. But yeah, coward's gear, ideally I'd like it on both bars instead of endurance, but I can get away with this right now. I can get away with having coward's gear on just one bar, and then I'm doing all my damage up here on the endurance bar. Now this is with purple weapons and stuff, and we're chilling with like 4k weapon damage most of the time. But yeah, so you guys get the gist of it. 5 plague break, 5 coward's gear, whatever monster helm and shoulder you'd like. You could replace these glyphs with poison if you want. All these poisons are super chill. I haven't really messed with them, but I think I'll start doing that as opposed to what I had before. I mean, these aren't the greatest. I mean, this is dealing magic damage and restoring health, and then this is also dealing magic damage and restoring health. So yeah, nothing special about these glyphs or anything, but it does work. I gotta tell you guys, this works so great in battlegrounds and PvP too. You gotta be a little more careful in PvP. Maybe run with a healer or a tank that can like maybe stay with guard on you. It's definitely harder to pull off in PvP unless you're really good at the Nightblade, but pretty easy to do in battlegrounds. I mean, if you're capturing the relic, this is the build for you. You can spam vigor and run. If you're in a team deathmatch, super easy to stack up kills with this. I'll go over the champion points a little bit just for PvP's sake, but you guys are gonna have different champion points than me. A lot of you guys are gonna have way more champion points than me. So I've done some pretty simple stuff. I like reaving blows. When you deal direct damage, you heal for 7% of the damage done. I kind of put that on a lot of my builds. I also have a little crit chance over here just to unlock this tree. I don't think this tree would be unlocked unless I put that in here. We obviously want to get our max stamina as high as possible, so do that. And then I got my weapon and spell damage up with this one. Pretty simple stuff for the champion tree, and I don't have that many champion points to choose from. And like I said, those aren't going to matter in the battlegrounds at all. This is nice. You got some reduced sprint cost and a lot of roll dodging stuff. We're going to avoid this side over here where block really doesn't matter to me. I might pull these 20 points out when I can and dump them more into roll dodging. It's all about the roll dodging and CC immunity type of stuff. You want to... I went with this armor one too, but like I said, the champion points really don't matter too much. This is nice. I mean, I got some good movement speed and stuff. Sneak is nice. It matters to me more on this Nightblade actually than it does on a lot of my builds, but not in battlegrounds. That's the thing. I mean, like, these are super helpful to my Nightblade because I'm able to sneak and run with ease. Super cheap to run away in coward's gear. I mean, I can almost just sprint forever. But yeah, you're not going to sprint too much because you're able to kill these guys with such ease. Now my health goes crazy from 22.6k to 26.5 because of that endurance. So if you don't have endurance, you can expect to have a little bit lower health. But I still think if you're good enough at Nightblade, you can pull off that low health. With 22k, I would still be able to get a lot of the kills I was getting. So, and I'd be running faster on both bars. With the coward's gear, I'd have that major protection. So think about those things. What's really important though is the skills. You can kind of get away with a lot of different gear. That's the point I'm trying to make here. It's really on these skills here. These are what's important. Main spammable, gap closer, come in and out of stealth as you need, fear whoever you need to. You got good magic for this stuff. You're chilling with 16,000 magic at any given time, 17,000 on this bar. I'm kind of curious how I'm getting up to 17k from 16k actually, because it really shouldn't make a difference, but it does somehow. So yeah, I mean 17, 16k magic, even 15k is pretty solid. We're an orc on this class. You can get away with being a red guard, a Khajiit, whatever stamina class of your choosing. Be a Nord if you want. All of it works. It's just that these moves are very important if you want to run a dual wield, two-handed Nightblade. We did not go over this ultimate yet. I'm pretty torn myself on what I should morph this to. Back in the day, I went with Soul Siphon. The heal was super nice. I'm kind of tempted to go with Soul Tether and have that damage, but nah, let's go with Soul Siphon. I mean, let's get these heals again. Same old stuff as before. I mean, it worked, guys. This is different now. You're not getting major expedition from it, but super nice. Able to escape from AoEs and not escape from them, but take less damage from AoEs. And then you're immune to snares and immobilizations. Now, I said these two are flex spots, but really it's hard to find another move I would use instead of either of those. You could mess around with the shade. If the shade still teleports you from place to place, that could be dope. You could easily get rid of either of these two for the shade. I'd probably get rid of that before relentless focus, and then if I got rid of relentless focus and I just wanted to have fun, I would go with that Fighters Guild move again, silver bolts. I'm sure these two are pretty interesting as well. Do what you will depending on how you like to play Nightblade, but resolving vigor is pretty important. You definitely want to heal yourself for 16k over 4 seconds unbuffed. You could probably fit call traps in there if you wanted to mess around. I mean, a lot of people are using call traps in battlegrounds. You might struggle against like some stamina sorcerers with hurricane or maybe a magic dragonite here and there, but for the most part this is easy work. You drop in dragonites and templars with ease. Necromancers pretty easy to kill. My guy got a sweatshop going on in here, but this is a super nice house. I'm glad he let me come over here and use this for a build video. We might use, I mean, yeah, if you guys feel like you got plenty of recovery, which 2500 is, and you want to play around with different monster helms and shoulders or dubious Camoran, by all means come grab the warrior, and then you're chilling with like even 4400 weapon damage, give or take. So you do have a lot of room to like work around. 1948 stam recovery still isn't bad, and I would have more if I went with a different monster helm and shoulder, a different food. The steed is also pretty interesting to me. It'll take my health recovery up from 355 to about 600, and I really don't know if I can even run faster than I am, honestly. I was trying to test that earlier, but I couldn't really tell a difference. You guys let me know if you see a difference. I feel like I run the same regardless of that Mundus Stone. But the extra health recovery doesn't hurt. I mean, it's whatever. Still got really solid stamina recovery, even with that Mundus Stone. So you guys got a lot of options, but I think the most important part of this is that you have Rally, Leeching Strikes, Resolving Vigor. I believe it's resolving, right? Yeah. Soul Siphon, super nice. You could go Werewolf ulti back here if you wanted. That could be fun to play with. You got some options for sure. You could maybe do the two-handed ultimate back here. But Soul Siphon is a really nice heal, and I definitely think I might play around with some other ultimates. But most of the ultis are being used on incap anyway, so keep that in mind. All the killing is being done up here. I hit some pretty nice spectral bows earlier, but they're not that important to me, honestly. These are what's important right here, guys. So yeah, I think we've covered everything, and let me know if you have any questions in the comments. Hopefully it was professional enough, you know? Later, guys.